From day one, Medusa was like the evil stepmother straight out of a fairy tale, except this tale had no happy endings, just psychological abuse and neglect galore. Talk about a messed up family tree. But wait, there's more. Alongside the neglect, Crona had a crash course in soul-eating Kishin training, courtesy of Medusa's twisted curriculum. Who needs daycare when you can have daily doses of terror and mental insanity, right? And then, just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, Medusa decided to up the ante with a little something called the Black Blood Curse. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, extra power, sure, but also a one-way ticket to Crazy Town. But hey, why stop there? Let's throw in Ragnarok, the Demon Sword, just to spice things up. This guy wasn't just a weapon, he was Crona's own personal bully, a constant thorn in their side, poking, prodding, and generally making life a living hell. It's like having your own personal demon, except this one talks back. So, when we talk about Crona's personality, it's not just about being troubled, it's about being a survivor of the ultimate horror show, a testament to their resilience in the face of absolute chaos. Let's dive into the gender identity whirlpool that is Crona, shall we? Now, Crona's not your average anime character, they're like a rare Pokemon, a non-binary gem in a sea of gender norms. But hey, before we jump into the gender debate, let's remember to keep it civil, folks. We're here to have a discussion, not a brawl. Now, when it comes to Crona's gender identity, it's like a mystery wrapped in an enigma, with a side of confusion. Some fans argue over Crona's sex, pointing to their slender build and feminine hips as evidence of being female. Others think Crona's awkwardness around girls suggests a male sex. And let's not forget the whole "Crona wears a dress" thing, which, let's face it, doesn't really help clear things up. But here's the kicker, arguing about Crona's assigned sex at birth is like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube with your eyes closed, it's just not gonna happen. According to Atsushi Okubo, the mastermind behind Soul Eater, Crona's sex is a mystery, a secret locked away in the annals of anime lore. So, whether you see Crona as a he, she, or they, one thing's for sure, they're a complex character in a complex world, a shining example of breaking free from the chains of gender norms. Ah, Crona, the mysterious enigma wrapped in a puzzle, with a side of gender confusion. Now, if you're scratching your head wondering about Crona's gender, you're not alone. This character is like the Da Vinci Code of the anime world, complex, confusing, and open to interpretation. You see, in the original audio, Crona is referred to with gender-neutral pronouns that don't quite have an English equivalent. It's like trying to explain quantum physics to a goldfish, tricky, to say the least. But fear not, we can simplify it by translating these pronouns to they/them, suggesting that Crona might identify as non-binary. Now, some might argue that applying Western gender concepts to Japanese characters is like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. But let me tell you, non-binary identities are like ninjas, they're everywhere, even in Japan, despite the country's reluctance to talk about LGBTQ+ issues. So, whether you see Crona as a he, a she, a they, or something else entirely, one thing's for sure, their gender identity is as complex and mysterious as the plot of Inception. And hey, if you're still scratching your head, just remember, gender is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're gonna get. Now, if you're itching for a debate, you might argue that the use of gender-neutral pronouns in the anime was just a clever ploy to keep Crona's sex under wraps. But hold your horses, because here's a thought, maybe Crona's sex doesn't matter at all. Maybe, just maybe, Atsushi Okubo created a character whose identity transcends the confines of traditional gender norms. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, it just doesn't work. And let's not forget the little nugget of controversy surrounding Crona's use of boku in the Japanese audio. Now, for those not in the know, boku is a pronoun typically used by boys and men, adding a dash of masculinity to the mix. But here's the kicker, boku isn't exclusively male. It's like the Swiss Army knife of pronouns, used by girls, women, and gender-bending anime characters alike. So, while some might see this as evidence that Crona is AMAB, assigned male at birth, it's just another layer to this gender identity mystery. So, whether you see Crona as a he, a she, a they, or something else entirely, one thing's for sure, their gender identity is as fluid and dynamic as a lava lamp on steroids. So, let's unpack this whole boku situation. Just because Crona uses the pronoun boku doesn't mean they're shouting from the rooftops, "Hey, I'm a boy." No, it's more like they're saying, "Hey, I lean a bit more towards the masculine side of things." And let's not forget, folks, being non-binary is like being a buffet of gender expressions. You pick and choose what feels right for you. And for those not in the know, non-binary individuals can rock varying levels of masculinity and femininity like it's nobody's business. Crona might be leaning towards the masculine end of the spectrum, but they're still firmly planted under the non-binary umbrella. So, let's put that argument to rest. Crona is as NB as they come. Now that we've cleared that up, let's dive headfirst into the deep end of Crona's personality pool. Strap in, folks, cause things are about to get interesting. They're a character with a lot of potential, but let's face it, they're about as deep as a kiddie pool. After episode 21, it's like the writers just hit pause on Crona's development and went for a coffee break. Sure, they've got some trauma and fear going on, but there's so much more to a character than just being scared all the time. It's like trying to describe a painting with just one color. It's a bit lacking, to say the least. But fear not, dear reader, for I shall paint you a picture of Crona's personality with the limited palette I've been given. Picture this: Crona is like a scared puppy, always on edge and preferring the company of gentle souls like Maka. They're the type to jump at their own shadow and cower at the sound of a loud voice. Living among the good guys might help ease some of that irrational terror, but old habits die hard. Crona is a cautious creature by nature, always second-guessing themselves and overthinking every little decision. Can you blame them, though? After enduring so much abuse and bullying, it's no wonder they're hesitant to stick their necks out. They're like a flower that's been trampled on too many times, reluctant to bloom for fear of being crushed again. So, while Crona may be a bit one-dimensional at times, there's a complexity to their character that's just waiting to be explored. Here's hoping the writers give them the chance to blossom into something truly captivating. Crona, the scaredy cat of the century. Everything seems to send shivers down their spine, at least initially. "I don't know how to deal with this," or "I don't know how to interact with this," is practically their catchphrase. The unknown is Crona's kryptonite. They may have a curiosity for learning, but the fear of not knowing what to do often holds them back. It's like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded. You know there's a way out, but you're too scared to take that first step. But here's the kicker: for Crona, the real monsters aren't witches or Kishins, it's other people. Growing up without an ounce of love or kindness, Crona was like a plant deprived of sunlight. So, when Maka extended a hand of friendship, it was like a ray of sunshine breaking through the clouds. But breaking out of their shell wasn't easy. When Maka pushed Crona out of their comfort zone, the poor kid practically had a meltdown, lashing out in fear and confusion. Despite their initial reservations, Crona shows remarkable bravery and a thirst for knowledge. They may be terrified of the world, but that doesn't stop them from wanting to learn more about it. When left to their own devices, Crona's introspective nature takes over, pondering the mysteries of the universe and their place in it. Sure, Crona may still have a long way to go in overcoming their fears and traumas, but they're making progress. With Maka by their side, they're slowly but surely learning to face their fears and embrace the unknown. Here's to hoping Crona continues to grow and flourish, like a timid flower finally blooming in the sunlight. Seriously, no one else in the series cries more than this kid. It's like their tear ducts have a direct line to their anxiety. But it's not just tears. Crona's emotions are as unpredictable as a cat on a skateboard. Take the scene where Maka and Marie drag them to see a nice view of the city. Crona is floored by the beauty of it all, but instead of a normal reaction, they start doing this weird mouth tremble thing that's somewhere between a smile and a cry, all while making the most awkward happy noise imaginable. Maka and Marie can't help but laugh, and honestly, who can blame them? That balcony moment speaks volumes about Crona. Deep down, they're a big old ball of emotions just waiting to burst. They want to express themselves, to show the world how they feel, but sometimes it comes out all wonky, like a Picasso painting of emotions. And let's not forget the poetry. Oh, the poetry. Crona may have a penchant for the dark and dreary, but they've got a way with words that can make even the sunniest day feel like a rainy Monday. Seriously, that poem was so powerful, it sent everyone in the room spiraling into a pit of despair. But here's the thing, Crona's emotions, as messy as they may be, are also their greatest strength. They feel things so deeply, it's like they're plugged into the universe's emotional Wi-Fi. Sure, life might always be a bit of a struggle for Crona, but with time and some much-needed healing, they'll learn to navigate their emotions like a pro, finding beauty and joy in the world around them. Crona's like that side dish at a barbecue, always there, maybe a bit overlooked, but crucial for a good time. Picture this, Crona's in the corner, tears ready to flow at the slightest provocation, but don't let that fool you. Deep down, they're like a mix of a nervous wreck and a loyal puppy. Crona's cautiousness isn't just about being careful, it's like they're constantly playing life on hard mode, terrified of making a wrong move. And the waterworks? Oh boy, they flow more often than a leaky faucet. But hey, at least they're in touch with their emotions, right? They cry over sunsets and write poems that could make even a clown shed a tear. But don't think Crona's all tears and fears. Nope, they've got a heart of gold buried under all that anxiety. Once they latched onto Maka, it was like glue. They'd do anything for her, even take a hit from Medusa just to keep her safe. And let's not forget the whole, giving up the soul-eating gig for a shot at redemption. Talk about commitment. In the end, Crona's a mixed bag of emotions, loyalty, and a dash of, please don't hurt me. They might be a wreck most of the time, but hey, they're trying. And isn't that what life's all about? Crona's journey is like a roller coaster ride through a haunted house filled with emotional baggage and spooky skeletons. At the start, Crona is stuck playing sidekick to the wicked witch Medusa, doing her bidding and collecting souls like a twisted game of Pokemon. When Maka steps in, it's like watching a kitten try to take down a T-Rex. Crona is a mess of nerves, fear, and enough madness to make the Mad Hatter jealous. In a showdown that's part therapy session, part beatdown, Maka digs deep into Crona's psyche, and what she finds is a hot mess of insecurity and trauma, wrapped in a black cloak of uncertainty. Crona's fear is so palpable you could cut it with a knife, but Maka's hug-fu is strong, and she manages to break through Crona's tough shell of fear and self-doubt. After this emotional showdown, Crona's like a confused puppy in a new home, trying to figure out where they fit in this crazy world of soul-eating weapons and witchy shenanigans. But with Maka and the gang by their side, Crona starts to find their groove as a reformed baddie turned goodie, punching evil in the face and making friends like there's no tomorrow. So, while Crona's journey may have started in the shadows of fear and doubt, it's looking brighter with every step they take alongside Maka and the gang. Crona's life is like a roller coaster of guilt, fear, and occasional moments of feeling useful, only to be impaled and left in critical condition. Talk about a tough break. But hey, at least they're loyal to Maka to the end, even if that end almost came sooner than expected. Crona's journey is like a soap opera, full of twists, turns, and the occasional impalement. Here's hoping they get some well-deserved peace and quiet after all that drama. If you enjoy the video, hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification. Don't forget to like and share this video with your anime friends.